With Enfer, finally, a golden age is upon us. Okay, that's, I love it. I'm super excited about that. Also, the idea of an AI running your empire is brilliant, really. Even I'm smart enough to know that ain't a good idea. Let's get good. I am the gamer under development, and this is Endless Space 2 Penumbra. This is the first episode of our new community faction playthrough. So what we did is we took some feedback in the comments on what kinds of things people wanted to combine and see, and what we ended up with is this faction we've created called the Diasporid. They have a little bit of a description. The Diasporid no longer know where they originated. The oldest amongst them speak of a cataclysm, but none remember its relation to their current place in the galaxy. The records state that radical gene therapy was needed to survive. Okay, so that's because we ended up with the Sophon's visual affinity and the Gene Hunter gameplay affinity. The Gene Hunter gameplay affinity normally belongs to the Horatio, and what it essentially allows you to do is to consume a certain number of population to permanently increase the effect of your base population. So I've left this screen up right here so you guys can see all the other things we picked, and you can replicate them in your game if you want to. Part of the reason why I designed this faction the way I did is because it should be very easy for a new player to pick up. The reason for that is we didn't really go with a lot of traits that are confusing. Basically, all we did was put together a very bare bones faction that produces a lot of production. We have Constructionist 3, which gives us plus 30% production on systems, and Growth Plan 2, which gives us plus 20% food on systems. And then we have Harmony Citizens, which give us plus 2 food and plus 2 science on strategic resource deposits. Those I kind of just picked for a lore idea. Like, if this is a faction that was forced to gene meld their entire species as they were escaping a cataclysm, the Harmony seemed like a really strong self-sustaining minor faction for them to pick up along the way. That's the main reason why I picked them. Anyways, so because the bonuses are primarily production and food is very important because the other part of Gene Hunter is that our pop eats more food, basically what that means in the end is that you don't have to worry so much about how you build things. The bottom line is the most important resources you can generate in your empire, these guys are really good at doing it. So it makes it really great for new players. I do want to change one thing. They're currently ecologists, we're going militarists. The reason for that is we had a couple different people provide suggestions. The original suggestions were for a Sophon Gene Hunter Republic, but I believe they were to go for a Science or Wonder Victory. Instead, we had some other people request a Militarist playthrough, so we figured we would do Militarist for their... I didn't actually save it there, my bad guys. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, cool. Now it's correct. So now we have everything we want. They're going to start on an atoll planet. This is our setup for the game. We are running on serious difficulty. We are running hard pirates. The speed is fast. The competitors are 6. We are doing a Spiral 6 medium-sized galaxy with a high density and few constellations. And with that said, we're also using the Mavro skin. I want to point out the reason why we're doing that is because it makes us look a little bit different than the Sophons, and I just like it, honestly. The one thing I will say here, guys, is while I wrote that cool little backstory for our Diasporid, we're going to be doing the Sophon faction quest because we have their visual affinity, and the faction quest is tied to the visual affinity. So we'll follow their quest. It's actually great because we haven't done their quest on this channel yet, so now we get to check it out and see what the Sophon quest is like. I actually think it's really cool because they reframed the Sophons in Endless Space 2, and they made them into basically, instead of being like super genius scientists like they seemed in the first one, now they seem like kids with dynamite that are just blowing things up to see what happens, which is kind of funny. So anyway, you guys will see. I love what they did with the Sophons in ES2.
They have always been first, the Sophons. First to split atoms, mine asteroids, and capture the energy of the sun. First, too, to crash their test rockets. Trigger artificial earthquakes. And accidentally blow up their moon. Their great power has given them great irresponsibility. But through it, now they're the thirst to create perfection. Me.
That was great. I love that. You see what I mean, though, right? Like, they're like kids with dynamite. Just, you know, what happens? We'll see. Okay, so we're into the game. We're going to go ahead and do our normal rotation of things. We're going to start over here and then work our way through these just real quick. First turn of the game, I just like to do that to make sure I'm thorough and I get everything. So we start here. We see that we have our hero. The first thing we can do is come in and just take a look at his skills. So he'll give plus 10% fleet health to a fleet right now, and plus 1 science per pop on a planet right now. So we're not losing much if we don't put him on the planet. His ship, however, has a lot of support slots, and we can do really good things with this. For one, actually we only have 2-point engines to start with, because we don't get any starter techs with this faction. The techs are things that we have to get ourselves. I'll show you guys why in a second, though. This faction's strength is not in how it starts with technologies and things like that. In fact, I'm going to pull these guns off because we don't even need those. We're just going to have shields and we're going to... Well, no, we should put guns on just in case we end up needing them. There we go. We'll do 1 laser and 1 projectile. And then we've got all these nice probes on here to help us scan things down, which will help him level faster. And it'll give us some bonuses because, you know, if you scan something and you get something, then hey, you're all set. We've also got these incubators here. I'm more than willing to bet if we double check our incubator, which is our colonization ship, there is a slot for us to put another engine in, which we're going to do. We will go ahead and upgrade that right away so that our incubator moves a little bit faster. And then while we're at it, we'll take a look at our scout ship. Looks great. Let's throw a laser on it just for the fun of it. Yeah, that's fine. That's actually a really nice setup for a starting scout ship. We don't have any defenses whatsoever. Yeah, we have no defense slots whatsoever, but we do have the ability to put in damage, and we have the ability to scout. That's kind of a good thing, in my opinion. These ships are usually paper thin anyway, so tank doesn't help them all that much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and assign our hero to this fleet, so that when they begin scanning stuff, he can take advantage of that. It looks like we don't have any anomalies on our starting system, which is kind of sad, but Placidus right here has all sorts of things, so we're going to head over there and see what we can scan down. Alrighty then. Zoom into this planet structure, and we have a lava here, an arid, and a desert. We can't colonize any of them, but I believe that if we look here in the early tiers, arid is one of the ones we'll get sooner rather than later. Snow, savanna, arid, yeah. So arid is one we could get on tier 2 if we really wanted to. I'm gonna go ahead and just start scanning the arid then, because that's the one that we'll probably get to fastest. Lava is also one we could get to if we just decide to go heavier into the industry tree. So we will scan that next turn probably. And then we have our colony ship here. Normally it's not a good idea to do this. Who am I kidding? It's not a good idea to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna scout the next system with our colony ship, mainly because it has that extra engine, so it's pretty fast. If it needs to, it can get out. The problem here is that without any colonization techs, because I did not think about that when I built this faction, we are going to be hard-pressed to colonize anything. So I think the first thing we're going to have to get here is actually going to be some sort of colonization tech. And let's see what we have going on. Arid, Savannah, and Mediterranean. Okay, so a Mediterranean is something I think we can get on tier 1 right here. Yes, it is. And in exchange, we will get that, which is not ideal anyway. Okay. Choices, choices, choices. I think we're gonna forgo that. We'll have to colonize a little bit later than we'd like to, but I'm gonna say that we probably get a little bit of payoff for that patience. We do not have any strategic resources there. Do we have any strategic resources over here yet? Not really. So we'll want to scan this down for sure and see if we get any strategics on that Mediterranean. But in the meantime, it does look like we're not in the need of any specific tech for strategics, so we're going to go with this. I am now beginning to think that by trying to make this faction relatively simple, I actually left out a lot of key ingredients, and this is going to be really rough. We'll see, we'll see. I'll show you guys what we got for the trade, though, and we'll see what you think of whether or not it was a good deal. So we're going to start by getting Xeno-Industrial, because that's going to be good no matter what. Then we're going to go over here and get the food. Then we'll get the base science. And after that, we'll worry about our colonization techs, and we'll probably pick that up as well. And then we'll probably be moving into military relatively soon after that. The good news is, realistically, even without all that stuff we were just talking about, a strong industry and food backbone is all you need for a militaristic faction, and we'll get to prove that, basically. So that's fine. Hostile fauna, that's not particularly great. Revive and rebuild, battle tactic. Recycle ships if fleet not destroyed, used in desperate situations. Interesting. So I think that's like a suicide battle plan. Okay, yes, we know he's joined the Empire. He is already on a fleet. We have a new luxury resource. At least we have Jadnix somewhere in our Empire already. And Deciduous trees as well. Excellent.
Masters of science.
Here we go. Okay.
Have crammed the cold, rocky homeworld of Hekim with glittering metropolises and great works of engineering that proclaim their genius.
I love the narration for them, but it's slow.
Triumvirate, you face a future full of risks and challenges. But hey, that's where the fun is.
The way he says that.
More great discoveries await you in the inky depths of space.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. Okay, so we did our base science here a little bit. No, I mean, we went through all that stuff. We actually started moving people around, which I should have probably done last. So we'll come up here. That's our Empire thing. We don't need anything right there right now. The laws right here. This is actually important. How is it that we have pacifists and militarists? Oh my. That is a very interesting combination. Okay. So I'm actually interested how we ended up with that. Are the Sophons inherently pacifists? No, so I don't know why we have pacifists. We have a militarist population here and a ecologist population here. There's the gene splicing effects for our faction ability. If we splice these guys into our Diasporan genes, what ends up happening is that all of these guys then produce an additional 2 science and food. Now here is what I was talking about. For all the point trade-offs we gave, what we get is we get +5 of every resource except for food, which we get +5 of on fertiles. Most of the time you're going to start out by colonizing fertiles in a system anyway, so essentially we get +5 of every FIDS for this population. And as we look at it now, I'm not actually seeing that they consume more food, so I don't know if that is actually built into Gene Hunter or not. We should take a look at that. Splicing requires... No, it actually isn't. Okay, so we actually don't have the food penalty at all that the Horatio normally have. I thought that was actually baked into Gene Hunter. It is not, though. So that's excellent. So we can take lower fleet costs here, which will let us build ships faster, although that's not necessarily important right now. Super Tax Act will do nothing, it looks like. That's interesting. I think that's just a broken tooltip. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this trades like happiness for dust. Yeah, that's what it is. But we're not going to worry about that too much right now. Instead, we will probably just take lower fleet costs, and we don't even need that at the moment because we're not going to be building ships right away. So we'll wait on that law, and we're perfectly fine with the one we already have. We did our science, we upgraded our ships, we did our hero. Let's go ahead and take a look at our systems production real quick. So we're definitely going to want our drone networks first, just to get our food and industry going. And then we're going to pop down this cerebral reality, of course. And then after that, I think we'll build a couple of detectors. We'll probably end up finishing science and building something else instead of those. But we're going to put those in queue right now, just in case anyway. That should be just about everything we need to do this turn. I mean, technically we could send these guys... I'm actually going to do that. No, they're not going to move until next turn anyway, so I won't send them further down. I'm really not fond of scouting further with this colony ship, but as it occurs to me that we won't have the science to colonize anything for a minute, that's probably just going to have to happen. In fact, I think one thing we might do here is, now that I think about it, we might actually prioritize that. In fact, if we do that first... Oh, I don't want to do it first, though. I definitely want to get our production improvement first. Yeah, let's get our production improvement first. I think that'll be fine in the long run. At least then we can take advantage of that bonus production. I do want to actually take a look. We're on turn 2 now, but I do want to take a look at our system and see what our FIDS generation is like so far. So as you can see, our FIDS generation, though, is pretty solid for the first turn of the game. Just reasonably solid FIDS production, and hopefully that's going to extrapolate to us getting more population very, very quickly. So we'll have a new population in 2 turns. And hopefully, as that population begins to go up, what we'll see happen is sort of a snowball effect of us just generating a ton of resources. And the nice thing is, once again, we're not worried about malices here. We basically just play the game as if we're trying to play the game from this point on. And I'm gonna go desert. We don't have to like focus on making sure we get certain things. I mean, we want the same basic things everybody else does with strategic resources and stuff, but we're not like hard up for a specific type of planet. We don't need to avoid certain problems. We just play the game and enjoy our bonuses from here on out. I'm gonna go ahead and send the colony ship down here. Like I said, I know it's dangerous to scout with this, but at the same time, like, we really can't do anything with it anyway for a few turns, and when the time comes to build another colony ship, we'll probably be able to pop one out relatively quickly, so I'm not that worried about it. We ended up not finding anything anyway. At this point, I'm considering taking our colony ship home and strapping some probes onto it, even though I'm reasonably sure that's not an option. But we will finish xenolinguistics right now, and then we'll be able to start putting our people into that science tech so that we can start getting the Mediterranean here on Orm and growing our empire a little bit. So here we are, the first Sophon faction quest. Running an empire is a large, complex, time-consuming operation. This has been an inconvenient truth since the dawn of the Sophonity. One of the few drawbacks to living in a civilization as cosmopolitan, prosperous, and brilliant as ours, one always finds oneself straining for the next yawn-inducing thing. People to meet, things to do, star systems to conquer. It's enough to make one hang up one's hoverboard. One solution to this problem was posed by Anrar Needham, the proctor of future research at Rawab University. Why not get some of the stupider peoples to do it? Surely there is a sub-Sophon somewhere who actually enjoys this endless drudgery. But the extensive and immediate ridicule she received was sufficient to change her tune. Why not, she then proposed acerbically? I don't know what that means. Sorry guys, I'm not as intelligent as the Sophons. Just get an AI to do it then. The genius of this idea could not be understated. The movement gained immediate traction in the High Caucasus. Budgets were allocated, the finest minds assigned to the project. In a matter of months, the Enhanced Neuroflexible Entity Research ENFR project was launched. Now just a few short years later, we are ready for the final touches. Tighten the bolts and raise your receptacles, Sophons. With ENFR, finally, a golden age is upon us. Okay, that's I love it. I'm super excited about that. Also, the idea of an AI running your empire is brilliant, really. Even I'm smart enough to know that ain't a good idea. Okay, so we can take this quest, win 3 battles with Sophon fleets, and the result will be use and lose ships. This is an empire improvement that makes it minus 15% ship cost on our systems. Wow, that's incredibly powerful. So normally with the Sophons, you would probably go Inspire or Socialize. I usually go Inspire, which is take your exploration fleets and orbit around 2 systems in a different constellation, and that gives you Sophon free move. Honestly, even with a militaristic playthrough, I kind of think about taking this, just because this is an engine with 4 movement and 2 additional vision range and 20 health that you can pay for purely with industry. You don't actually need any strategic resources for this. It's basically dirt cheap. And that's really powerful, but this minus 15% to ship cost total will actually be way better in the long run, especially when we get to building Titans and bombers and things like that. So we're gonna go ahead and go with Militarize here, which means we need to win 3 battles with Sophon fleets. That means that we should probably not convert our first minor faction because we want them to produce fleets that we can shoot at and kill. So we'll have to be careful about not befriending them too quickly, because we do want to befriend them. We actually need new minor factions in order to have more people for us to absorb with our Gene Hunter ability, because right now the only ones we have are the Harmony. The more minor factions we get population from, the more we can absorb into our main population. So that's something we'd absolutely love to do. And since we started out Republic, we're going to get multiple political parties, and the ones we'd really like to get in there, if we can help it at all, is militaristic and religious. And the reason for that is if we get religious, we can actually set up a doctrine whenever we want that'll make it so that our main pop is the only kind of pop that we get. Now, we don't want that early on, obviously, but later, once we've gotten all of our things sort of integrated, then we want that, because then we'll just produce really powerful population all the time. Be the first to possess 20 star system improvements in your empire, and you will get 75 Jadniks. That is something that we wouldn't mind having right there, and hopefully, based on our bonuses, we'll actually get there. Okay, so we did get our first level up with our hero. Now we're going to look at what's available to us, and obviously if he's going to be a governor, we want really good governor things. This could be useful, but it's still sort of a secondary ability to this like 10 plus 10 science flat out, or this plus dust. I'm going to go with the science here because, as we've already realized, we're a little bit behind on techs because we didn't take a starting tech. So we'll get that science bonus, and hopefully we can get a second level on him really quickly, and that'll allow him to get in there and help us catch up on science. So Xeno-Industrial is done, which means we now have titanium refining as well. Debris Analyzer is in research along with Colonized Mediterranean, which is what we're really after, so we can begin colonizing Orm right here just to give us a second system, because I guarantee you if we check our score right now, we're probably behind. Yeah, we're actually... no. We're not... well, yeah, we are behind. I'm sorry. It took me a second to figure out exactly which one we were, because I'm a spaz, and like for some reason I thought we were blue. Anyways, yeah, we're a little bit behind because we haven't settled our second city, but that's going to happen within the next 2 turns, so hopefully we'll be able to catch up with that. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, honestly. And you guys can just go ahead and remain idle till the end of the turn. We're going to be fine, guys. We have such high production that it's not even an issue. In fact, we should move that right there. Okay, so in 2 turns we will also have our Xeno-Industrial, and that'll get us going on production at a very, very good rate. We just got another population there. And now that we grew population, I want to see how many more turns it is. 2 turns until we get another population. Unfortunately, that population is going to be Harmony, but that's not entirely unfortunate, because the reality is if we get enough of them, we can go ahead and absorb them. The catch to that is we don't really want to absorb them early on. Like, how many would it take? 2 units of population. However, think about it this way, guys. If we now get 1 more unit of Harmony population and we absorb them, then we'll gain +2 food and +2 science on all 3 of these populations. So we'll get 6 food and 6 science, and what we'll lose is everything else they were producing, which isn't worth it at this point. We want to wait a little bit longer to do that until we have sort of a population excess. In fact, the best time to do it is once your population is beginning to fill like the expansion disapproval slots. That's when you want to do it. Oh, and looky here, please have something that we can colonize. There is a Savannah and a Mediterranean right here that could potentially also have Hyperium. We're gonna hope for that right there, and we may actually be sending this colony ship down there, because that is way better if that's the case. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. So that'll actually catch us up largely if we can get that going, and that is what we think it is. We will know in 1 turn because we'll have rare earth foams. Let's do it, guys. Hold your breath with me, because if this works, we're going to be off to a great, great start. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Be what we want you to be. Be what we want you to be. Look away, guys. Is it Hyperium? Oh, I didn't see it. Okay. Ghost in the Machine. So we got a quest from this one. We can take the militaristic option, which increases militaristic political ideology. There is a 50% chance of creating a major political crisis. That's not particularly useful to us right now, so maybe we go with this one, which is -5 science on Empire, but we have an 80% chance to discover something, and it increases our scientists' political ideology. I'm gonna go with this. Hopefully we can avoid doing too much other sciencey stuff to push us out of military, and we did get Hyperium there. So that worked out perfectly. This is exactly what we want, and we're gonna go ahead and colonize that planet immediately. That is just beautiful, guys. Just beautiful. So because we've been generating so much dust, we have 150 dust, we can actually go ahead and buy this right now, and that'll take the turns down to half. However, if you note, when we look at this, the duration is 5 turns, so if we cut it down to half, and we have 12 turns left, that means 6 turns, so it'll actually come back and like take a little bit longer, and I'm not sure if that affects it, but I worry about that, so I'm gonna wait 2 turns and then do this effect to make sure that we get the most out of it. Okay, so we do have Hyperium though, and we found 5 Hyperium when we scanned that. We also have Harushem's population now, which is awesome because that's another pop that we can absorb. And we got the basic warp drive and nano repair bots from hitting tier 2 of the science thing. And if we are the first to scan 10 anomalies, we will become the Seekers of Truth, and currently we are in 2nd on that. Rare Earth Foams is done, Planetary Landscaping is in research now so that we can start getting even more food going, and more food means more population, and more population means we get to assimilate people sooner, and that's what we want. We want all the assimilations right now. Just because we got that scan, I want to go look at this and see if we're in first now. We are in first now. Okay, so the good news is if we can keep our scanning up, then we may actually be able to beat the other factions to that bonus. What actually is the bonus? I didn't even pay attention to what it was, I just want it. 75 blue cap mold wouldn't be terrible. We could use it as a resource. I don't know that we actually have any of it in our empire though, so it may not be the best thing. Red Sang, which is normally a throwaway for most factions, actually could be very useful for us. Let's go ahead and go this way, I think. Yeah, we'll go that way, but we'll fire a probe down that way. Oh, no. Go this way then, because we know for a fact... No, that's gonna take... How is that gonna take 3 turns? Oh my. That's not very good for us. Okay. I guess we don't have a choice, really. We're gonna go this way because we know that there is at least 1 guaranteed scan there, maybe 2. Could it be 2? There's 3 there that we can potentially scan, although it looks like 2 of them are from a higher science technology than we have, so that's fine. We can deal with those later. I'm gonna launch one of these down there too, just to see what we can see, and in all honesty, we have 1 more, and we're gonna be gone for a few turns before we can actually land and scan, so I'm gonna fire another one out that way too. And that should be fine. Excellent. That'll be finished in 1 turn. We should be well on our way to getting everything where we want it. Okay, ending our turn. So we are going to keep an eye on our outpost, because once it gets down to 10, we're going to buy that out. Unlock 15 technologies from the military quadrant. This is to get behemoths. We definitely want this if we're going military, because military behemoths are powerhouses. We did just discover the Epistis. Let's see the location. Hello there. Y'all seem like a lot of fun. We could declare war on them and use that to fuel the military quests that we have. However... I'm debating whether that's worth it, or whether we should... I think we can still fight their ships. I'm not sure, but I think we can fight their ships even if we're neutral with them. That might make them mad anyway, though, so maybe we just declare war on them and we go after them. I'm not entirely opposed to that. We have a bunch of detectors coming out. Let's get 4 detectors out, and we'll just declare war on them and send them over there to wreck them. If they win a couple of fights like that, especially if we let them get some fleets in space, we might be able to kill a fleet in space and then get them to pump out a few more and basically just farm them to get this faction quest done. I think that would actually be greatly to our benefit at this point. In 1 turn, though, we will have planetary landscaping, and we have hacking operations left unassigned. I completely spaced the hacking game. Okay, so in this case, we're actually really lucky, because Nu Skin's not a thing we can hack from yet. That's sad. So let's go ahead and hack from Rhea to this one to... Oh, can we not go straight through to No, we can't. We can't go straight through to Carius. We could go to Viren to Carius, and that way we would avoid any of our systems potentially being traced back. But honestly, at 11 turns, it doesn't matter. So we're just gonna... We'll start that hack at 11 turns because we only have 1, and there's no reason not to start that... Well... Yeah, no, there's no reason not to start that hack. And we will take a look at this real quick, though, because I want to make sure, yeah, so next turn we're going to buy that out. And that should take us there. In 5 turns, we'll have another colony. We're already building up a decent stock of these. Once we get that colony, we will hopefully be able to get some Hyperium in. And there we go, that's the technology we need for the Hyperium. Also, that'll give us access to the facility on this planet that'll make it so that they have even more production. And once again, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a strong base and then just steamroll, essentially. We'll snowball out on resources and then be able to just stay ahead of everybody from that. So we have reached Empire Development Stage 2, which gives us access to Grants Bureau, Stellar Analytics, and Mining Probe. And then also the Endless Research Park, which is something we're actually aiming for. That is a big part of what we're planning to do. Okay, so gonna go ahead and close that. Got our detectors coming out in Rhea. Just completed planetary landscaping, and now we are working on xenobiology. So let's go right here, and we will go ahead and put sustainable farms in there, and I'm thinking we'll do intensive cultivation here as well, because we do know we have 4 planets in this system, and that we'll probably be colonizing all of them eventually. It is going to be important for us to get a lot of planetary techs, because with this faction, we're going to want to go wide. We're not going to want to go tall, which is irregular for me. Like, I prefer to go tall almost all the time, but, you know, sometimes you got to do stuff you're not necessarily the most comfortable with, because it's the thing that's going to work for the faction you're playing. So for these guys, it's going to benefit us a lot more to go wide than it is to go tall. And we're going to zap over there, which is going to take us 3 turns, so we're probably going to miss out on this now. Maybe not, we're still in first on that, but I mean, somebody could beat us out on it after all. Alright, so everything looks to be in order. Our fleet will be done next turn, so we can go ahead and end that turn. Population is growing nicely here. Neutral hackers active. Pirates and minor civilizations now have access to hacking operations. They can defend their own systems from your hacking operations and may attempt to infiltrate yours. That reminds me, we do actually want to put encrypt on our system, just to keep it safe. Somebody else has completed Seeker of Truth, sad time, so we didn't get that. Which is okay, because we honestly didn't have the resources for it to make that big of a difference anyway. Like, it seems like a good idea to take something like Jadnix this early on and make it your Empire Improvement 1, but if you don't have a good enough supply of it that you can spread it amongst your systems, is it really even worth having? Like, I'd rather have something I know I can build everywhere, personally. That's just my preference, though, because, I mean, you can buy it off the market if you're doing a limited enough amount of it. So we did finish public-private partnerships there, which is great, because we'll go ahead and put the first science improvement in queue right there. And then, after that, we will bring out our first fleet and send them to their destination. Also, our hero has officially reached level 2, so as soon as we can, we're going to go ahead and land him on a star and switch him over to being a governor, which should work out excellently for us. Found Sable here that's got some Hyperium and some Super Spuds. Super Spuds for us is actually a really, really good resource right now. And the main reason for that is because if you think about the ship cost reduction from that, plus the ship cost reduction from this, plus our production and food bonuses, we should be able to grow to enough planets that we're producing so much production and food and population and everything in our empire that having reductions on the cost of stuff like this will just be ridiculous. I mean, this is a buyout reduction, but actually, you know what? I wonder how that works. If you have stuff that reduces cost, I bet the buyout in general gets cheaper. Like the minus 15% production on these probably makes the overall buyout cheaper too. Unfortunately, we will have to find out next time though, because that is it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed the episode, click that like button down at the bottom. If you want to see more, click subscribe and make sure to ding that bell notification, because if you ding that bell notification, YouTube will pick one of their employees and put a cowbell around their neck, and every time I upload a video, they will thwack that person's ear. The cowbell will go off in response, and they will let you know that one of my videos is up and you should check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I will see you next time. Peace!